Hi, this is Mahesh M. Thakur. I am the CEO coach and international motivational speaker. I'm here to talk to you about mindfulness. Mindfulness is not just for leaders or for people who actually start to face troubles in life. Mindfulness is for people who want to really experience life, people who want to take control of how they are breathing, how they are feeling from moment to moment. Mindfulness is for the current and future leaders. Mindfulness is for the current and aspiring CEOs. Mindfulness is for every human being who has been gifted, who's been given the gift of life. Mindfulness is an important topic when it comes to how you're experiencing or seeing life as a whole. Mindfulness is focusing on the here and now. Focusing on the here and now while not being judgmental, not critiquing something, not overthinking about something, just being in the here and now. It is about paying attention. What you pay attention to does not matter. Attention is a faculty that helps us navigate our lives. So, what you pay attention to wouldn't matter as long as you're aware you're paying attention to something. You could be paying attention to a statue in front of you could be paying attention to your breath, or you could choose to pay attention to nothing, which is the ultimate form that you're trying to get to. If you focus on the formless, if you focus on nothing, that's the ideal state. But as you begin, it's okay to focus just on your breath, which is why some people start by focusing on their breath. To take it to the next level, they'll do yoga, where it's actually focusing on your breath and doing more advanced breathing as you experience yoga, which also takes you closer to feeling mindful or being mindful. Just to be sure, when you're talking about being here and now, it's about neither reminiscing about the past nor overthinking or planning the future. Because when we do that, we are squeezing the joy out of the here and now. The here and now gives you an opportunity to experience the current moment, where you're sitting, whom you're talking to, what are you expressing, how are you feeling, the joy. All of that happens in the current moment. But many people are either reminiscing about a past event, like something happened, or somebody said something, or a certain event unfolded not in the best way possible, or they are wondering about what's going to happen tomorrow or 5 years out, overthinking the future, once again at the cost of today, at the cost of the present moment, at the cost of the here and now. And therefore, it's critical that you take the time to experience the here and the now. You basically take control in a way to focus on your breath or focus on something that brings you back to the here and now. That's the most fundamental way you can be mindful. Why should you be mindful? Imagine if you are unfocused, hasty, negligent, rash, absent minded in your communications or in your work, or if others are observing you doing these things. It actually means you're not present or you're doing something unintentionally. Yes, you're doing your best to focus, but you are still being looked at as unfocused. Yes, you're being kind, but you're still coming across as rash, or you are actually rash. When all of these things start to happen, when you actually start to lose all the control you possibly want to have, that's exactly where you are suffering. You're actually not being able to experience life, you're actually suffering. And to avoid that suffering, to avoid that state of suffering, is when you actually have to be mindful. This is where you are actually putting yourself first in terms of clarity and understanding how you're feeling from moment to moment. And it all starts with some simple, basic steps. I'm here to discuss with you why mindfulness matters and the science behind mindfulness. Mindfulness matters because that is how you experience life. You choose to experience life versus suffering. Accidentally just going through life causes suffering. Being aware, being mindful, brings you the kind of state of mind which allows you to experience life and all the gifts that come with it. So, scientifically, what happens is a human body consists of approximately 50 trillion cells. That's a huge mass of energy. And how you control that energy defines how you live your life. Let's dig deeper. When you start to actually focus on your mind and on your breath, you're actually helping those cells vibrate at a higher frequency. In other words, you as a human being are vibrating at a higher frequency. When your frequency is higher, you experience love, joy, confidence, and even connectedness to the people around you. It could be your family, your colleagues, your teams, your organization. As a leader, as an individual, you want to vibrate at a higher frequency. If you do not pay attention, if you're not mindful, unfortunately, you will be your vibrations are lower. And when that vibration is lower, that means you may be sad, you may be negative, you may be negligent, you may come across as somebody who's not connecting or bonding with the people that actually matter. And that is not what you want to do. What you want to do is, what you want to be doing is being in control of your mind, being mindful, and giving yourself a chance to vibrate at a higher level. Mindfulness is a channel which connects yourself, your body, to the world. How you think from moment to moment actually has a huge impact on how you're connecting to the world. How you think, how you feel, what you say, and sometimes even things that you don't say, but deep inside, if you're feeling a certain way, all of that is being sent out to the world as a form of energy. We, as a body, as a human, are emitting that energy out to the world. And that's a very strong signal that only humans can send. And therefore, by being mindful, you can be in control of how you're thinking, how you're feeling, what you're saying, and also what you're not saying. Mindfulness gives you that connective tissue to connect deep down with your own self and also be in control of that antenna and that signal that goes out from that antenna of your own body to the rest of the world. I'm discussing now 3 ways in which you can integrate mindfulness into your own routine. So, number 1, what you can do is just sit still. Sit still looking at a painting, a mug of coffee, or just looking at the sky. If you can do that for about a minute, 2 minutes, or even 5 minutes, that's a good start for beginners. During that time, there may be thoughts coming and going. It is okay for you to not indulge in those thoughts and just merely be a spectator, an observer who knows there are thoughts coming and going, and you do not need to be engaging in them. The second one is actually doing breath work or breathing exercise. You could be doing yoga, and through that, you're just focusing on your breath. That could be for extended periods, 5, 10, 15, even 20 minutes of breath work is great. The third step is actually meditation. You could be sitting peacefully and meditating with closed eyes in your favorite place. You could do that for 5, 10, 15 minutes. You could do that for 1 or 2 times a day, or even twice a week, depending on what your schedule permits. But those are the places you could go to get started. Again, sitting still, you could just sit still. Breathing exercises, and finally meditation. We are all at different points in our journey towards mindfulness. People who are very busy, they are on a flight, they are going from one place to the other. They may just choose to sit still and listen to their favorite music. Even that is a form of mindfulness. They may choose to sit still and actually experience every single bite of food that they are eating. That is mindful eating. So just slowing down the pace, just focusing on the basics, allows you to bring back your own self and deeply connect to your own self, to your own mind, body, and soul, which is so critical in today's day and age. Because if you're not doing that, if you're trying to hyper optimize your time as a leader or as an individual, what you're not experiencing is life. Yes, you may get five things done, but in the end, if you're not feeling good, if you're feeling awful about your own self, or if you're actually hurting the people around you, or if you're coming across as mindless or rash, that is not serving you. So it's important to bring yourself back into that state of mind, which actually allows you to operate at a much higher vibration. Let us talk about a few leaders who practice mindfulness. Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple and Pixar, which was sold to Disney, he was practicing yoga and meditation. And during his trip to India in 1974, he actually got really better at those things, which served him well later in his life. Mark Benioff, who's the founder and CEO of Salesforce, practices meditation and mindfulness. Ray Dalio, who is the founder of the biggest hedge funds, actually practices mindfulness. He is number 32 on Forbes 400 list. All of these leaders bring mindfulness, bring meditation as a daily practice into their routines. First, you become mindful, then you become a good leader. These are certainly some very chaotic times we are experiencing as CEOs and leaders. We want to be proactive when it comes to knowing and acting on things ahead of us. We want to keep in mind everything that has happened since the pandemic and the subsequent 2, 3, 4 years. We also want to be in control of the future of our companies, our employees, our profit and loss statements, our balance sheets, our investor relationships, our customers. There is so much that is riding on the CEOs today. There is a never-ending demand on their mind, on their body, on their presence, and more than ever is a need for the CEOs to be mindful. At this point, there are two types of people that you will see operating in this environment. One who's mindful, one who's not. The one who's not mindful will always approach their leaders, their employees, as people who should be just listening to them. They will appear as very rash, they will appear as impatient, they will always have a viewpoint even before they've fully heard or absorbed what somebody else has had to say. When you're in a meeting with this kind of a leader, you will feel that they never heard you and you will feel disempowered, which basically means that the CEO is not doing the right thing for his company. Take the case of a mindful CEO. They're the ones who understand the macro environment, but they also understand not everything is in their control. Deep down, they also know everything is going to be all right. They are the ones who do not appear chaotic. They are the ones who are not rash. They are not in a hurry. They will approach a meeting. They will approach people with curiosity. Even if they have all the answers, they're going to appear as people who are curious to hear what their staff, what their leaders, what their employees want to say. They want to make sure they make them feel heard. If there is a point of view, they will add that. But they will certainly leave the meeting where their employees and their leaders feel that they've been heard and that they've been empowered to do the right thing for their product, for their company, and for their customers. Hence, in these times, more than ever, it's very important for every CEO, every business owner, every leader to be mindful. Being present, being mindful has solid advantages for every leader, for every CEO, and for every business owner. First, it's going to be reflecting on how clearly they think. So the clarity of thought is going to be very obvious when you're being mindful. It not only helps you, it also helps your teams and your employees. The second is your quality of output. So no matter what you're working on, if it's a document, if it's an all hands presentation, if it's a deck to your investors, the quality of your output is going to be much better when you're being mindful. The third is the quality of your decisions. In today's day and age, your people may be approaching you to help them make a better decision. And so your own quality of how you make your decisions and how you get others to align with that is very important. Your quality of decisions is going to be far better when you're being mindful. Fourth, you're going to be actually helping others feel good about their work by deeply connecting with them, engaging with them, and understanding their point of view. And fifth, you're going to be feeling good about your own work that you do, and finally about your own self, which is also very important. All these are some solid advantages that I've seen in CEOs and leaders who practice being mindful at all times. They actually include the mindfulness routine as a part of their daily routine, of their everyday routine. I am so curious to hear your thoughts. Feel free to leave your comments and I will take some time to review and reply to them. Also, feel free to click on the link below and follow me. Thank you.